Good evening, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land. I am Deleted Scenes, human being, American, and YouTuber Ronan. Now I'd like to welcome you to this movie review of The Thursday Murder Club. This was a film that debuted on Netflix on the 28th of August. And I had the opportunity to watch it during its first weekend. All right. The film stars Helen Mirren, Pierce Brosnan, Ben Kingsley, Celie Emery, also co-starring former Doctor Who David Tennant, and Paul Freeman, who you might remember as Belog from Raiders of the Lost Ark, and also appearing Naomi Ackie, who, of course, you may or may not remember from Rise of Skywalker. The synopsis reads as follows. Four irrepressible retirees spend their time solving old case murders for fun, but their casual sleuthing takes a thrilling turn when they find themselves with a real whodunit on their hands. All right. And the film is directed by Chris Columbus, of course, known for directing the Home Alone films, the first two anyway, and as well as writing The Goonies. And it's based on the Richard Osman novel, which, full disclosure, I haven't read. So whether this is a good adaptation or not, I can't really say. However, it's actually, I'll say it up front, this movie is actually a lot of fun, guys. Let's see. Before I go into the full review, I don't want to forget everybody in the chat. I do want to say hello to everyone currently joining us from X. I can't see you, but I know that you're there. I do want to say hello to Gambit 1987, Blue Wrench channel member, the voice of Northern Oklahoma, the tired midnight blogger, Nothing to See Here citizen, Curtis Selby, channel member JPRPH1, Fluff Chick Productions, who is finishing up The Conjuring. Well, I'm going to be talking about The Conjuring here in about an hour. All right. And hello to Tune the News. Good to see you. Please, everybody, hit the like, share out the stream, let everyone know we're on. All right. So this is the Thursday Murder Club. And it basically starts out with this overview of the cold case that the group is working on. It was the murder of this young woman. Her boyfriend gets accused, even though he says he saw someone running from the scene of the murder. But still, he kind of gets suspected. And while they are in the process of trying to solve this cold case, one of their members falls into a coma that she is not expected to wake up from. And so they wind up enlisting Celie Emery's character, who's a former trauma nurse, who's new to the rest home, old folks home, whatever you want to call it. It's actually a rather beautiful place, and I kind of almost wish I lived there. Hello to Big Al Presents, the host of Films with Friends, as well as the creator of the 10-Word Review. I'm going to be joining Al this Friday for a showing of Roger Corman's The Raven with Vincent Price, Boris Karloff, Peter Lorre, and some unknown guy named Jack Nicholson. I don't know who 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 he is or what happened to him. Hello to Andrea Black and Enigma Severus. All right. And of course, Bird Woman of YouTube, Connie Cleary. Fluff Chick Productions is her channel. Please check that out. All right. So you have they live in this old folks' home and decide to spend their off time solving these cold cases. And it starts out with Helen Mirren, who's she's kind of playing her character in this is kind of a cross between like Jessica Fletcher from Murder She Wrote and her character Tennyson from Prime Suspect. You have Pierce Brosnan, and of course, he's got some detective cred from Remington Steele. And you also have in the film Ben Kingsley, who of course has been detectives on film before. Suspect Zero comes to mind. Also, Without a Clue, which was actually a Holmes and Watson film that he did with Michael Caine, with the spin on that film being that Watson's the smart one. And, Holmes is just an actor. He's hired to be kind of the front. And like I said, their fourth member, Penny, is a woman, is a former cop. And she's married to Paul Freeman's character. And she falls ill and goes into a coma just previous to the beginning of the film. And while they're working on this cold case that she was involved with back in the day. And so they decide, okay, we need a fourth. And that's where Celia Emery's character comes in, who's this, like I said, this former trauma nurse. We first meet her with her daughter, and the way the scene is set up is that we think she's someone who works there and is showing the young woman the place to bring her parents in. Then you realize it's just, the woman showing her daughter, hey, I'm totally fine here, like, look at all the things I can do. So we very quickly find out that there are actually that the owners of the property are there's actually like a partnership. It's these three men, one of whom is David Tennant's character. You have the other one who is Tony, who's played by let me look that up real quick. Jeff Bell plays Tony Curran. David Tennant's Ian Ventham. And the third individual that they're in this partnership with, I'm not going to say who that is because it's a big cameo that comes up in the third act, and it's great, and I don't want to give it away. So, but it is a familiar face, and it's going to be a lot of fun to see this person when they come on screen, um, particularly playing the kind of character they're playing. So we come to find out very quickly that uh, David Tennant's character wants to break up this partnership and sell the property because he basically he wants to kick the old timers out and like turn the place into condos or something kind of stupid like that. But Tony doesn't want to sell, and one of the reasons being is that he has I think it was his mother. It was his mother or cousin. So either way, he has a relative who is staying at in the home, and she is not in the best of health. And basically, he doesn't want to move her, and so he kind of, despite his shady past, he has he's kind of on the side of the old timers. No, I don't want to. It's more like he doesn't want to move the mother, but at the same time, everybody, they're kind of finding the old folks and Tony. They're kind of finding themselves on the same side of things. So basically, lo and behold, uh, it turns out, Tony unfortunately winds up being the one who is murdered. And it becomes this kind of race against time to solve his death and, keep to keep the home open, so nobody has to move. And and you have like David Tennant getting in the way, and he kind of becomes suspect number one during the course of things, and so do a number of other people because, like I said, Tony is a man with kind of a shady past, and as the deeper they look into his background, the more they find out that there are people who were after him and for whatever reason. And as it happens, they along the way pre they meet a constable who is played by Naomi Aki, and she's there for a completely different reason. She's supposed to give like this basically like this seminar or something, and you know and kind of also doesn't realize what she's getting into, doesn't want to be there, but they meet her, and they kind of befriend her, and through a chain of events, they finagle their way into getting her involved with the case, because because the detective was on the case is I don't want to say incompetent, because it's not so much that. He's just, it's obvious he needs help. He's barking up the wrong tree, and not a bad guy, just kind of maybe in a little bit over his head.
So they want, Naomi Ackie winds up partnered up with him, and so they're looking at things from the police point of view. Meanwhile, you have the Thursday Murder Club um, looking into the clues on their own, and you begin to, and what ensues, and I don't want to give too much of this movie away, because this movie is a lot of fun, guys. It really is. And there's there's a word I kept thinking of the entire time I was watching it, and it's breezy. And it's not something that I mean in like a bad way. I mean that in a really good way. You are watching these actors who are all familiar. We've been watching them for decades, and they're kind of doing their thing, you know, and that's fun. And maybe I'm just getting older, and that's why. But it was fun seeing this group together in this movie, playing these kind of amateur detectives, uh, you know, trying to solve this, skyrocketing number of deaths that are just suddenly starting to happen. Um, it is, it's very sweet. It's very funny, believe it or not. Despite this is some of what's happening, um, it's funny. It's very, it is very much character driven. Um, you do get to know the characters throughout the runtime. It's just under 2 hours, and it doesn't feel like 2 hours watching it. I felt like it was kind of over in a blank, but it's very well done. It's well written. It's well directed. I would have had no problem watching this on the big screen. If I had seen this in the theaters, I wouldn't have felt like I had wasted my time in any kind of a way. Um, I yeah, and as Big Al says, it's fun. That's the word for the film. You know, like comedy with no agenda. Exactly. It's just they got a great group of actors. The script plays to their strengths, and it's just you're just having a blast watching this movie. Um, it's a lot of fun, and you follow the clues as they find them, and everything tracks. It makes sense. There's no Deus ex machina or anything. There's not anything in this that doesn't make sense. You're not scratching your head going, okay, I'm lost or anything like that. Yeah, it's fun, and it's not. Yeah, there's no agenda. Um, I mean, David Tennant's character could be looked at as kind of a modern day land baron, I guess. But the movie's not that heavy, folks. This is something that you can put on, like 4 in the afternoon on a Saturday, and just like kick back and just watch the film and have fun. Um, following this group of characters who you really do come to like, you do come to care about them. Um, you know, um, you worry about them when they're in danger, and they do. There's a scene with Jonathan Pryce. I forgot to say Jonathan Pryce is in this film as well, folks. Great cast. Um, and he plays Helen Mirren's husband. Um, and he has basically he has dementia, and there are times when he is very lucid and is aware of what's going on around him. And then there are times when he's not. And let's just say that there's a time when he's not at a very inopportune time. So there's danger, there's a bit of risk. They're chasing after a murderer who has no fear of just walking into your room and taking you out. you know so that's so yeah, so there's risk. There's danger, and it's all a part of it. And if you are a fan, especially of like British detective shows or detective films, kind of in general, this is right up your alley. You're going to enjoy this. It's very well done. It's well written. It's well acted. It's shot pretty well. Lots of twists and turns. Um, you're not always going to be sure who you can trust. Even among the group. There's a couple of points where it's like, ooh, oh, okay. Are one of the people we're following could have done it? Yeah, who knows? Um, you know. So yeah, I don't want to give anything away. That's why I'm being kind of vague about it, because I just want people to discover this movie on their own. And it's a lot of fun, and this is what we've been looking for, guys. Just an entertaining movie with a great cast, and they're kind of all doing their thing. And that's what you come to see. And it's great to have this group of actors together in a film like this. You have Helen Mirren, who's like, okay, guys, I'll say it, she's like the hottest 80-year-old. I don't care. uh yeah, so she's good. um he Pierce Brosnan still has that James Bond um charm to him. You have Ben Kingsley, who's very quiet. He doesn't say a lot in the film, but when he does, he makes it count. And he's that guy. He's just like in the background, and you think he's not listening, but he's absorbing everything. He's not missing a beat. You know, and you have a Celia Emery, who's just kind of she gets kind of thrown into this, and you know kind of finds this whole second life, really, because her husband has passed away. She's alone. She doesn't see her daughter a lot. And the way the daughter figures back into the story is pretty interesting too. um or her character, everybody gets an arc in this, even the supporting characters. you know and I like that. Whenever whenever you know a, a a movie treats even the supporting characters like the movie is about them, I like that kind of writing. You know, it's very rich character wise. You know, and everybody just you can tell they are having fun. Well, they had fun while they were making this movie, and it shows on screen. You know, it's not this doom and gloom, oh woe is me, nihilistic, you know, kind of film. You know, it's fun. And so I'm very highly recommending the Thursday Murder Club. Uh Honestly, I think they missed out not putting this in theaters. They should just like put it out there like they did with the K-pop Okay. Sorry about that. Hopefully I'm back. My feed was killed. Okay, I'm back. All right, sorry about that. We had a power outage, folks. Live television. Okay, we're back. So yeah, um I'm very highly recommending the Thursday Murder Club. Great film, a lot of fun. They should put, as I was about to say before I was so rudely interrupted, uh, that I would they should put this out in theaters for a couple of weeks, like they did, with that K-pop Demon Hunter thing. Um, which I guess I need to see now because everybody's. I was not expecting the Critical Drinker of all people to review that film or like it, so I guess I'm going to have to give it a look. Um, so yeah, this is a movie that if I had seen it in theaters, I would not have felt like I was wasting my time. So yeah, I am highly recommending the Thursday Murder Club. Please go and check it out. Gambit 1987 says they don't quit doing what they're doing right now, talking about Hollywood's creating this woke stuff. They're headed for a major upheaval. Yeah, this is very true. Um, and this is something that I'm probably going to go into in another show. But yeah, look, Hollywood needs to like start straightening up and flying right because they're going to lose. They may lose the theaters. They may they rely too much on streaming. The political messaging, which they don't seem to be willing to let go of, and it's too bad. They're going to shoot down their own industry. And welcome to FKC 2005. Did the lady in the movie Sunday change her haircut? No, because she does say a couple of scenes after that she's wearing a disguise. So she did change her hair color. She was wearing a wig. So so she wouldn't get recognized by the villains. So it seems like a continuity error, but then it gets explained. So no. And thank you for the $1 super chat. The movie Tim is referencing is the movie that Bill and I watched for Western Cinema Presents called Kill Johnny Ringo. And it's about this Texas Ranger goes undercover goes to the town of Eagle Pass to take down a counterfeiting ring. So it was obvious. I think there must be two cuts of that movie, because the version we watched was 83 minutes, and IMDb says the movie is 95 minutes, and it felt like there were scenes missing, you know. Anyway, back to the main story here. The Thursday Murder Club. Please see this movie. It is on Netflix. I know there are those of you in the chat who are not fans of Netflix. I understand why. But this is a good movie, and check it out however you can, because unfortunately it's not in theaters, and I even though it should be. All right. Well, I am going to go ahead and wrap up my non-spoiler review of the Thursday Murder Club. Ben Kingsley looking sharp in his tweed outfit. Yeah, he does. He's a cool character in this. I like all the characters. That's, and even the ones who turn out to be not on the up and up are kind of fun to watch too. So that's another thing that's fun about the movie. I know I'm saying fun a lot, but it is. It's a fun movie, and it's serious when it needs to be. It's funny when it needs to be. Single digit aged kids are not going to be too crazy about this, and maybe shouldn't be watching. It is PG-13. Like I said, there are some dark moments. They are dealing with a murderer after all, and everything that goes into that. There's some language. It's not over the top, but there are a couple F-bombs in there, that are well placed and well timed, but they're there. It earns the PG-13, but other than that, it's good. It's a good movie. Pierce Brosnan isn't that far off either. Oh yeah. Helen Mirren is very much the lead in this movie, for sure. Yeah. All right. I'm going to go ahead and cut it off right here. So folks, go out and if you have Netflix, watch the Thursday Murder Club. If you don't, there are other ways. Argy mateys. But I don't condone it. I do not condone that. All right. I do want to thank everyone currently following along on X. I can't see you, but I know that you're there. I want to thank everyone who is here in the live chat. Gambit 1987, Curtis, Connie, Tim, Big Al Presents. Thank you, Tim, for the $1 super chat. I want to scroll up. Enigma Severus, Andrea Black, Tune the News, and JPRPH1. All right, in about 10 minutes, I am going to be reviewing The Conjuring Last Rites. So stay tuned to the channel for that review. From HQ and all points north, south, east, west, and beyond, good night, take care, stay strong, be safe and healthy, because this is how we win.